In a sense, this is a journey to one's roots, historical and psychological, and a sort of cultural pilgrimage into one's past to reach a new future. Perhaps it's only appropriate that one of the first sounds that greet us are what seems to be the chimes of temple bells, except the sounds emanate from this small, humble hut.
It's no temple, it's only a shack, but it is a temple of creativity. These craftsmen are carving exquisitely designed pillars out of granite blocks using the same techniques and, more importantly, the same dedication employed by India's temple artisans thousands of years ago. Like in the olden days, it takes more than 2 years to finish a pillar, but when finished, it is virtually magic in stone, for they are works of intense labor and love.
Outsiders do it for money. It's crude, it's commercial. Here, we have developed stone carving into an art form. If we are carving a leaf, we do it as if it's real. It takes time and concentration, but you can immediately spot the difference in the quality of work.
The shack is part of a learning center for arts and crafts for rural artisans set up nearly 20 years ago by a mendicant called Papanaasam Swami, a publicity-shy man who did not wish to appear before the camera. Helping to nurture creativity is the Kudisai's rural surroundings. Ringed by hills, palm trees and placid lakes, and a pastoral way of life. The Kudisai is located near Papanaasam, an area of some historic significance and a sacred place of pilgrimage. For centuries, worshippers have been climbing these ancient stone steps through the lush mountains for their purification, for washing away their sins, and becoming one with the cosmic rhythm. Spread over 84 acres, the Learning Center is actually a self-sufficient village for artisans, with its own rice fields, vegetable gardens, orchard and dairy. Here, artisans can live and work in dignity, rediscover their creativity, far from the world of demeaning competition and commercial exploitation.
It's an advantage to live in a village. There are plenty of opportunities to observe the landscape, the mountains, the flowers, the different varieties of leaves, all of which you can transplant in your work.
The local people refer to the artisans' village as ashram or hermitage, but the creators of the center refer to it as Kudisai or hut, a refuge for the orphans of an ancient civilization.
We call it Kudisai because honestly we launched this effort in a hut. We did not want to call it an ashram because there are all kinds of preconceived notions attached to a hermitage. It's associated with religion, chants and rituals. We don't believe in any of that. We are spiritual but not religious.
Funded so far through private donations, the Kudisai provides free education in arts and crafts to about 40 rural students from all religious groups and castes. It also provides employment to more than 70 rural artisans, most of whom would have otherwise remained unemployed or strayed into other trades. The Kudisai is an experiment to make it economically viable for artisans to remain in their vocation and thus revive one of India's dying traditions.
We pray that through this effort we will be able to revive many of the creative arts that India has lost.
One such art that is being revived in the Kudisai is sheet metal works. A careless eye may dismiss this work in a few seconds. It took 2 years to make. The Kudisai rediscovered the ancient method of using resin beds to etch and emboss copper and brass plates, adding oil and brick powder to resin and cooking it on wood fires to make the resin bed. After removing it from the resin bed, the copper plate is literally hauled over the coals. Then the ash removed and the plate cleaned with water and tamarind. At this stage, the work is only half done. The final round of intricate etching takes months. The Kudisai has also reinvented many of the tools that were used centuries ago for fine workmanship.
In the Kudisai, we do not separate art from craft. You cannot do justice to art if you do not have the craft. And you cannot have craft without an artistic vision.
The erosion of artistic vision is evident in the modern craftsperson's work, the joints as crude as the chair. Unlike the Kudisai's finely crafted joints, all of which go to enhance the workmanship. In a sense, the smooth joints also symbolize the Kudisai's team spirit. Individual excellence is cherished, but teamwork a must.
Only teamwork can create great works that endure time. When a group of artisans work as a team, when their collective vision and skills are executed in an atmosphere of togetherness and happiness, then the result is the purest form of art.
And girls are part of the team, even in male-dominated areas such as woodwork. Farmer Chinna Kannu's 3 daughters are studying in the Kudisai.
At first my neighbors disapproved because I was sending my daughters to a school where there were boys also. And they said carpentry was only for men. But my daughters need jobs.
God has ordained different jobs for different people. I feel it is my calling to be an artisan. I work with total absorption. I'm not afraid of people gossiping.
In today's culture where factory jobs are the greatest attraction, even the boys who opt to become craftsmen are ridiculed.
People mocked me, saying what future will a carpenter have? But here, I am not a carpenter, I am an artisan.
An artisan with a future. After a 2-year course, students become probationers for 3 years and given a salary, and thereafter employed to execute craft orders that come their way. Decorative wall panels, metal sculptures and intricately carved doors and furniture that reviewers call poems in wood. Poems sculpted through ancient methods. Poems in Burmese teak and rosewood that take 5 to 6 years to craft and can cost as much as a whopping 4 to 600,000 rupees or more than $10,000. Art lovers say no value can be attached to these exquisite pieces because they are not merely products of skill but expressions of spiritual involvement.
There is an atmosphere of devotion here. It's not God that's worshipped, but art. And genuine art demands absolute dedication and devotion from the artist.
For 8 hours a day, students and artisans are absorbed in their work, their concentration total, their involvement absolute.
When you carve a flower, you must become that flower. Only then will it become real, perfect.
To achieve that perfection, artisans here can take months, years.
There is no pressure of time here. Artisans can take as long as they want to fulfill their creative potential. All that matters is achieving the accuracy and purity of their artistic vision.
The Kudisai artisans experience job satisfaction, they earn a decent salary and are also given 2 free meals a day. Cooking is in fact a major enterprise here. 20 kilos of rice daily, lots of lentils and plenty of garden fresh vegetables. Everybody has a role in the commune's upkeep. Students not only learn the arts, they also learn the value of cleanliness. And sometimes mixing a little bit of pleasure with business as they remove fallen leaves from the huge well. There is no radio, no television set. Recreation is playing caroms, reading or doing homework. Life in the Kudisai is simple, basic. No meat, no cigarettes, no alcohol.
Drinking affects their work. They cannot concentrate, their hands shake, and overall their life deteriorates.
It's a Spartan life that some artisans cannot tolerate. But those who can, thrive. Currently, the Kudisai is a haven for sculptors and painters, metal, wood and stone carvers.
In our hearts, we know the Kudisai will keep growing. We hope it will expand to become a refuge for the practitioners of all the 64 creative arts, which, as you know, includes architecture, cooking and even gardening.
The fusion of many arts and many sciences is what makes the Kudisai crafts so aesthetic. To make sure these skills do not die, the Kudisai is adapting ancient craftsmanship to create aesthetic objects that are functional in the contemporary world, objects like doors and furniture. Kudisai's works arouse strong feelings, admiration, awe, appreciation. But feelings are not enough to sustain the institution. Support, moral and financial, is what's needed.